Hello everybody and welcome to my experience with the Brackeys Game Jam. So I'm not too good at making these videos, so I'm going to try and keep it interesting. Let's see how that goes. So first of all, I started off with making a list of all the different things that I can do. And as you can eventually see, none of these worked out. So I opened up a Unity project and started making the base game. Created a character and made little platforms for you to walk around on. And then I gave him cute little eyes because, you know, why not? So originally I tried to make it where he can clone himself, and therefore you would have extra enemies or people to help you work with. It didn't end up going so well, but eventually I did get it to work after a lot of testing. And then I played around with this for like a solid 20 minutes. Here you can see I attempted to make AI, but eventually scrapped it in the end because I could not for the life of me get it to work the way I wanted it to. And then I made a little patrol script instead just to make them walk back and forth on the platform, but also ended up scrapping that as well. Now, for some reason, I could not get him to actually find out where the player was, so instead I stopped working on that and went to make some terrain for the background. It took a lot of different prototypes, but I finally got to something I liked. Here you can see I am testing out the background to see how I liked it, and I eventually added in a parallax background because it just looks so much better. Here I'm trying out a different idea of having the player shrink down, and that somewhat worked. But we did get it in the end. Here's me adding in some little dust particles just to give it a bit of life, because it was looking a bit bland. And a lot of this I didn't record because it was either late or I just forgot to, so please excuse that. But I did do all of this at some point. Here's me working with the background again because it was not working. And I've started playing around with creating the base level for the game. Here I'm making a breaking platform, which is, I find, pretty cool. And I'm testing out some more powers, and here's a fan that is supposed to blow you up into the air when you walk over it, which I did also scrap. A lot of this is just me scrapping stuff, which is probably why I barely have any amount of gameplay for it. And here I attempted to do some animation, which I only ended up using like once or twice in the actual game, which is quite sad because it was pretty cool. Here I am trying to get the level to work and make a trigger for a door to open up. Then I attempted to make a ladder, which then just decided to make in Unity because I could not find a way to make it look good. And I am now making stalactites, which will fall from the ceiling when you walk under them. Took a lot of different versions of this to get it finally how I liked it. Yeah, it's a lot of working with this. Now I'm actually making some art for the stalactites so they don't look just like cubes, and then I scale them up and down just to make them look a bit more varied. And now I'm adding a collider to them so they actually kill you when you do it. And then I started working on the terrain for the game, which is actually, I believe, is the final product for it. I did have to alter it a bit to work around with the level design, but this is pretty much what it ends up looking like in the end. And I made several different tufts of grass to spread around the level, which I then ended up just using one of them after a while because it got really repetitive. And then I started making some trees so I could scatter them around the level, because it needs some more life. It's pretty bland if you just have grass and leaves. Then I changed everything white just in case I wanted to change out the colors, but I ended up using black because I don't have to add any detail. It's a lot easier to do silhouettes if you just don't add any detail. And then I played around trying to get the levels to work by watching a Brackeys tutorial. Ironically, a lot of this stuff is me watching Brackeys tutorial because this is my first time working with Unity 2D. And then I cut off the bottom of the terrain so it would actually work with what I was doing, and I made it look all nice, and then attempted to add in sides just to find out that the way Unity makes platforms is weird, so I ended up scrapping those and just using the top as the sides as well. Now overall, I am pretty happy with how this level ended up looking. I thought it looked very nice. Oh, and I skipped ahead a lot because I forgot to record that. It was late at night, like 3 in the morning. But I ended up scrapping a lot of that entire level and remaking it. I added in a character, which I also forgot to record. And then I finished up most of the level. It's not a lot of gameplay because I was doing this on I don't think any sleep at all. I had been working for the entire night, and skip this if you don't want to watch it, but this is the actual gameplay of it. It's only about a minute though, or 2 minutes, because I ended up failing on the first try on my own game. But if you don't want to see this, you don't have to, and I'm going to be quiet so y'all can watch this now.